Good morning, everyone. I am Shweta Sarangi, and in your third semester, I'm going to teach you about environmental studies. So, we have completed our second chapter, that was our natural resources, and next we are switched to our third chapter, that is ecosystem. Okay, so what do you mean by ecosystem? Why it's important? Ecosystem is very important, and what its meaning. So every living organism is surrounded by materials and forces which constitutes its environment and from which it must derive its needs. Thus, for its survival, a plant, an animal, or a microbe live cannot live completely sealed in an impervious skin or cell, but it requires from its environment a supply of energy, a supply of material, and a removal of waste product. For these basic requirements, living or biotic components of the environment. For these basic requirement, each living organism has to depend and also to interact with different non-living or abiotic living or biotic components of the environment. So it's a community or group of living organisms that live in and interact with each other in a specific environment. Next is our concept of ecosystem. What do you mean by that? So, ecosystem is defined as a community of organisms interacting with one another and the environment in which they live in. That is the study of home. A home can be a drop of water for an embryo or so. A home for a lion may be many miles of land over which it searches for its food. A pond, forest, lake, a river, an ocean, a dam, a cropland, a garden, an orchard, a city, a aquarium, woodlots, woodlots and fields may be an example of ecosystem. Okay. The structural and functional system of living organism of the community interacting not only among themselves but also having functional relationship with their non-living environment is called as an ecosystem. Understood? Next is our ecology. What do you mean by ecology? So, the word ecology derived from two Greek words, okis, okios meaning household or home or place to live or habitation, and logos, which meaning discourse or study. Thus, ecology deals with the organism and its place to live, that is environmental biology. So, what do you mean by ecology? The of the scientific study of the interaction of organisms with their physical environment and with each other is called as our ecology. Okay, it mainly concerned with the directive influences of abiotic and biotic environmental factor over the growth, distribution, behavior and survival of organism. Okay, the credit goes to German geologist E. Haeckel in 1966, who used the term archaeology to the interrelationships of the living organisms and their environment. Okay. Next is our types of ecosystem. What are the types? Okay. So depending upon the species, diversity and manner in which they are organized, ecosystems are of the following. are of the following types. First one is our permanent or natural ecosystem. Second is our temporary and natural ecosystem, and third is our artificial or anthropogenic ecosystem. Okay, so what do you mean by permanent natural ecosystem? This operate under natural conditions without any interference, even by human beings. Okay, it can be further classified into two types. First one is our terrestrial ecosystem, and second is our aquatic ecosystem. So, what do you mean by terrestrial ecosystem? Terrestrial means it operates on land, and aquatic means it operates in water. So, terrestrial ecosystem it operates in land, hence forest, desert, and grassland, and agro ecosystem include in this type. Okay. While aquatic ecosystem operates in water and it can be divided into two. First one is our freshwater system ecosystem, and second one is our marine ecosystem. So freshwater ecosystems are usually named after the size and nature of the freshwater bodies such as pond, lake, and river. Marine ecosystem is largest ecosystem on earth, which consists of several subdivisions, each having its physiochemical and biological characteristics. For example, in the deepest oceans, producers are absent, but in many other organisms survive, which dependent for food on the dead organic matter coming from the upper layer of the ocean. So that's our marine ecosystem. Next, next is our temporary and natural ecosystem. What do you mean by temporary and natural ecosystem? These are short-lived, but it operate under natural conditions. Okay. Next is our artificial or anthropogenic ecosystem. So these are man-made like fishery tanks, dams, croplands and space ecosystems also. Fish aquarium is also comes under this head. These typologies are determined not only by the specific composition but also by the psychogenomic characteristics and soil and climatic conditions. Okay, so mainly there are three types of ecosystem. First one is our permanent and natural ecosystem, and second one is our temporary and natural ecosystem, and third is our artificial or anthropogenic ecosystem. So our permanent and natural ecosystem is again or is further divided into two. First one is our terrestrial ecosystem and second one is our aquatic ecosystem. So terrestrial ecosystem means it operates on land, which the examples are desert, forest, and grassland. Okay, so these are the ecosystem on land, and while aquatic ecosystem which operates on water. Okay, which operates in water, and it can be again divided into two. First one is our freshwater system and second one is our marine ecosystem. So freshwater ecosystem are usually named after the size and nature of the freshwater body such as pond, lake and river. And marine, I have told you before that it is the largest ecosystem on earth. So there is always a difference between ecology and ecosystem. Okay, so what do you mean by ecosystem? A system that includes all living organisms like biotic factors in an area as well as its physical environment, that is our abiotic factors functioning together as a unit. And the ecology, it is the scientific study of the distribution and abundance of life and the interactions between organisms and their natural environment. So there is a difference between ecology and ecosystem. Okay, and it is very important. Next is our structure of ecosystem. Next class we're going to study about the structure of ecosystem.